It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it is a Wealth Wednesday, so you know what that means. My girl, Stacey Tisdale, is here. Hey, Stacey.
Hey, Angela. I am your girl. It is Wealth Wednesdays, and today we are going to teach you how to fund your freedom with these three very lovely young men who have come together and are really doing some great things for young people when it comes to wealth building. So we have Ramel, and we're going to introduce everybody. We have Ramel, we have Derek, and we have Kenny. And a lot of what you guys do is in real estate and in storage. And I know your personal story is that you helped use real estate to pay off your student loans. And I know a lot of people have student loans on their mind right now because in a couple weeks they're going to start paying. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was me. I actually paid off my student loans through investing in real estate. So I had like a little over $40,000 in student loans. My dad had took out some personal loans. Like the whole family were into debt to get me through college. But it's funny how it wasn't actually my degree that gave me back the return to pay off my student loans. It was real estate. So my very first deal, it was a brownstone in Brooklyn. I was marketing, I was cold calling, I was sending out letters, and I end up coming across a family that was going through a pre-foreclosure, right? So the bank was threatening to take the property away from them. I sat down, I said, hey, I want to get in here and buy this property from you. So we end up doing a short sale. So that's when you work with the bank and you work with the seller and you get the property under contract. So I got that two-family brownstone under contract for $590,000, right?
Amazing.
Wow.
$590,000. But the cool thing is I didn't have the money, right? I just got it under contract, and then I went to go apply for a mortgage, get a loan from a lender, and they didn't approve me because I wasn't making enough money, right? I graduated college. I was working at Pepsi, making $55,000 a year, so my income wasn't enough to qualify for that mortgage. But I said I couldn't quit, so I went to 50 real estate meetups. I would go on Eventbrite, and I would type in real estate meetups, and I kept going to these events, bringing my business cards, introducing myself to see if I could find somebody that would invest with me or partner with me. And by the grace of God, I ended up meeting this lady. She's a broker in the business for 30-plus years, old enough to be my grandmother, but she said, I want to help you out, right? This is why I'm a firm believer in mentorship, because when I felt like it was a roadblock, she actually seen something in me. I think you're going to go far. You remind me of my son. So she ended up connecting me to a partner of hers. We showed him the deal, and he put up the entire $590,000 for me.
Wow.
I put no money out of my pocket. I just had to give him 50% equity, right? So he put up the $590,000. We fixed the property up, about $40,000 in renovations, not a big renovation. Put that property back on the market, sold it for $1.2 million, made six figures in real estate, my very first deal, paid my student loans off, and the rest is history.
And that's scary to me, right? Because if you had a great deal because you found a family that was in pre-foreclosure and they didn't want to have to, get their property foreclosed on, I would have been a little nervous if somebody would take that deal from me.
Oh, it almost happened. So I went to private lenders to see if they can invest. But they started to backdoor me. They actually was
and
going
those are
to
hard money lenders.
Hard money lenders, yep. I was bringing a deal to them. Oh, no, we deny you. You're too young. You don't have no experience. But come to find out, they was going behind me and going to the seller trying to get the deal from me.
That's a scary thing, too, because that is also like I have to trust these people that I'm bringing this deal that I found to them, but they have no loyalty to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but the family said, no, we want to work with
because
you.
people sell to who they like. So
That's
I already had built a relationship, and then they got these random people come and say, hey, I want to buy your house. And it's an emotional attachment, so they let me know what was going on.
I'm glad you said that because I've had two situations where I managed to get a property because I met the owners and they liked me. Yes. And one of them, the deal was already on the table with somebody else. It was a Saturday, and they were closing on Monday. And they actually waited for me. They canceled on those people for Monday. And it took a while for my mortgage to come through. But because they met me and they liked me and they would rather have sold the property to me, that's how I got it.
Yeah.
Those relationships are everything.
Was you Angela Lee at that point, though? Like,
yeah.
Oh, see, that's not influence. No, I was about to say that's the benefit of having influence, too, though. And them type of opportunities come, it's because of that, too. You get that extra boost.
Right. Yeah. And it's also, they probably did some research on me and saw what type of person I was, too, right? And we're like, okay, and it's maybe it was whatever. I did it.
That works though. On some situations, like we put offers in with sellers, you might send them a letter as well. Send them a letter. Hey, I plan on keeping the front facade of this property the same way. That's big. You want to ask the seller, like, what exactly do y'all want? Sometimes it's not even about the money. Hey, I just don't want you to change the front because this is a historic house. And everybody else may want to change everything. That letter wins offers a lot more than you think.
Yeah. Getting the whole story.
Yeah.
Totally making that relationship. And you were talking about you met a great mentor.
Yes.
And you guys actually all were doing pretty well individually mentoring. And then that's how
Because it's not like
met.
y'all grew up together.
No.
At
They're
all. You guys
babies.
met, right? Y'all didn't grow up together. You guys actually met each other going to events together.
Yeah.
And being in the same mentorship programs as well, like us paying mentors and then being in the same community, and then us seeing each other work on the same things with each other, and seeing each other do like good things that happen within that group, and we meet each other like that too, and in-person events.
Right.
This guy, he DM'd me.
He did?
He
Okay.
DM'd me.
How'd you game him?
So I'm from Brooklyn, from New York, right? So
Don't
me-
blame it on Brooklyn. How'd you game him?
How we do.
I was the only one in my circle that was striving and trying to do great things, and I felt stuck. I felt limited, right? I said I can't be the smartest person in the room, and he's in Philly, so it's just a 2-hour drive away. So I just sent him a DM like, "Yo, bro, what you got going on? Let's just talk."
And what did you have going on, just so people know, at that time that that he DM'd you? Like, what were you doing?
So I'm in real estate, so we buy houses, fix them up, flip them, and run them out. And I post a lot of my progress, what we do, and then we also coach people that want to get into real estate with no money out of pocket. So we utilize different strategies, partnerships, credit cards, things like that. And he just reached out, was like, "Hey, I like what you're doing." And then he was on one of my I was in a class, and he was on a class. I really like what you're doing, and then we kind of just built from there.
And so you had a situation where you actually used somebody's credit card, right? Was that you that used the credit from the credit card to actually get the money?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about that.
So one of the things that a lot of people don't know is you can buy houses. You can't buy a house with no money, but you can buy it with someone else's money. So what we utilize is hard money lenders mixed with credit cards or private money. So let's say, for example, the lender, you're buying a house for $100,000. The lender says you need to put down 20%. That's $20,000. Well, which he's amazing with the credit. He could tell you that you can get credit cards for $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 on credit cards. It's actually easier than a lot of people think. But one of the things that people don't know is when you actually have a bank account with the credit card, like that credit card company, that bank gives you a credit card, what you could do is something called a balance transfer. Transfer literally like the mobile app, transfer from the credit card, that account, to your checking account. And all I did was pull the money off on a cashier's check and then buy the house direct like that. So when you go to close and they say, "Hey, you cash to close, cash from borrower, $19,328. You go to your bank and go ahead and pull that cashier's check out, but you just change it from the credit card to the checking account.
Does all this leverage make you nervous? Because I know what you guys are doing, we wanted to bring attention to because you do it so well and how you came together. But so much of a lot of coaches think they're teaching people how to leverage debt, how to leverage debt. Ultimately, that debt has to be paid off.
Right.
So-
And if something goes wrong, then that can also, and I always feel like as a person that I've always done like really safe investments, I get nervous that if something goes wrong, then what?
So the thing about it is you want to make sure you really, really running your numbers and getting mentorship and getting the right information. So what we do is specifically, I do a 65% rule. So that means if the house is worth 100, I'm not paying a penny over 65,000. So even though things could go, like we got so much room that if things go south, we can at least sell the asset and we still got a lot of room.
Okay.
Like some people will do 80%. That means if the market goes down by 20%, you just, you out of luck.
Or broke even.
But now if I'm at 65%, that means like the market go down 10%, go down 20%, we're still winning. Like for example, I literally got an offer that just came in literally 30 minutes ago for $430,000. And I owe $330 on the house. That's because I'm getting this stuff so cheap that if something goes south, I still have room coming in.
You didn't share that with me in the green room?
It literally
I was down
Just
with
came
that.
30 minutes ago.
I was sitting
We're
there.
good for $430. It literally just came and sent the agreement to sell over.
All right. Now, how did you end up in the fold with the whole Fund Your Freedom?
Yeah, so they had a little thing going on that they had a little bit of success with.
Little thing.
I'm not even gonna say it like
Wow,
that.
right?
I'm saying they had their own thing going on.
Y'all had your little thing happening.
I ain't trying to say it like that, but
Damn.
all right, man. But yeah,
Good a week ago.
they had some good stuff set up, right? And then they had some success with it, so they was thinking about what they could add to make it better. And probably, I think they were taking information from their past students of what they needed help with more, what they more expertise with. And it came to be like people needed upfront money or extra money to leverage and have opportunity with. So they understood that, okay, I was in the field of business credit and leveraging our LLCs and the credit game so well that they can add that to their combination and they can make this thing bigger and better. So then they called me up. So they had their own little conversation about who they wanted to work with. And I knew Mogul within the program. I seen Boone around like events and stuff sometimes and on social media, and it was just that. But we follow each other. We check each other out. You see what motion someone else got going on. You just checking in with them. And I guess I don't know exactly what the conversation.
I vouch for him.
Yeah,
Okay.
they was like, yeah, we gotta get Smitty on. So they called me. They called me with the plan that they had. I kind of knew that I kind of wanted to be a part of something like this, and it was an instant decision for me to be like, all right, I'll be a part of that because I was kind of doing it on my own too. I was just running on my own, just trying to do my own. But I knew that collaboration over competition was a big thing that my mentor was teaching me, and this is my opportunity to do it. So.
And each of you bring something different to the table.
Yeah.
And I want to say what the conversation was really quick, right?
Okay.
Because me and Smitty, we was in the same mentorship, and this mentorship, 6,000 people. And it was a contest that our mentor did. He was like, who's going to sell the most ebooks online? And Smitty won the contest over 6,000 people. I think he did like $18,000 in ebooks in 1 week.
You know what's
and
up.
I'm like, nah, he got to teach us something. He doing something over there.
How did you do that?
How did you do that?
Yeah.
So I had started learning marketing strategies with online. So I leverage other people's platforms. So if I got a $27 product, right, and my objective is to sell 100 of them. My deal was, all right, I got to find people with influence that has 100,000 followers, 500,000 followers, 1 million followers. All right, if I can get this product in front of their audience, since being as though I don't got that many people yet, I'll just, whatever I got to do to set that up, I'll do it. And what the thing was, you got to pay.
Yeah.
So,
right.
in some instances, I had to pay to get in front of bigger audiences. But what I did was I just did creative content towards what I was teaching in my product that I sold. So my product was like how to leverage your LLC to get your first 6 figures in credit with these steps. And I gave them my exact blueprint I used to get my first $100,000 in credit. I gave them the exact outline and blueprint, but on the content that I put in front of all the big audience and from other people, the influencers, was just breaking down good components and different banks they can go to, how to set it up, how to properly structure their business. And the content had got a lot of traction. So and once they got a lot of traction on that platform, I put it on like 4 other platforms that I put in. So then all the traction was coming to me and my product, and I was getting a lot of sales. So I had to figure out some creative way to get in front of 6,000 people to win, and that was what I decided to do.
He's the best. Y'all should work with the coffee.
Yeah.
Marketing. This is
trying,
this
guys.
his thing. This is his thing. I'm serious.
It was
Wow.
creative.
Yeah, he always going viral.
So you invested a lot in influencer.
Different, not necessarily only influencer, but it could be big platforms as well. So it's like wealth pages, it's pages with, people like us that got bigger platforms.
It's like
people.
targeted marketing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What about, did you use anything like on Facebook or Google AdWords? So when people search certain things, it comes up?
It's not really too much. And I also do this too. I create a lot of content on my social media to give them a call to action towards what I want them to be able to look at. So I'd also do that. I do it way more than anybody else too.
Okay.
So I do it maybe 3 or 4 times a day.
Okay.
Whereas somebody else might post 1 time this week, and then on social media people see 1,000 posts a day. I need to be in your face every quarter of the day.
Right.
Morning, afternoon, night, and overnight at 1-3 o'clock in the morning where other businesses don't
On that
post their
Explorer
business too.
page.
But, I'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning promoting my business while other business owners are asleep, but everybody's up thinking about what they're gonna do with their next dollar. And I like to market like that too as well.
And then let me ask you this, with people being really cautious now, because as you can see, there's a lot of people who are really cautious about who they look to when it comes to getting into the real estate game. So I want to ask you guys why people should feel like, okay, this is something that's tried and true and you can trust us, because that's also a really huge issue right now.
I'll say the first thing before they speak, because they real estate heavy. We like to put you in position to give you the blueprint and the layout for you to do it yourself, instead of you giving us the money for us to do it for you, and then now your money's in the gist of what we're doing and something don't go right and it's a little off. If we give you the exact layout, the information, and the blueprint, and the exact steps that we use, now it's on you to put in the work.
Right, you're not saying give us your money and we'll invest it.
Correct.
We're giving you the tools for you to go and look for your deals.
Yes.
Okay.
And then now you got to put in the work.
And back it up a step. If I'm listening to this so far, I'm listening to all these great ideas, and I'm like this. Tell us, our audience, exactly what Fund Your Freedom is.
So what Fund Your Freedom is, it's a program that we put together basically showing you how to get access to funding. But see, what a lot of people do is they get access to funding and they're like, go about your day, figure it out. So we all came together where you get access to funding. You take that funding to buy hard assets, and those assets pay monthly income or do a flip like I just showed you, and you get one large lump sum, and then that money can go ahead and pay bills, which creates freedom. So imagine, for a lot of people, they say if they didn't have a car note or had to pay rent, they would be like in a way better place. A lot of us, shoot, all of us. So now if you have monthly income coming in from these assets that you use funding to go ahead and buy, and then you have to pay a car note, you have to pay rent, you have to pay a mortgage, that gives you more time to go ahead and do weekend trips with your family, spend more time with your kids, because now you have more income. Okay, I could take a day off work because I got this tenant paying me. So now you create freedom like that.
And clearly, credit's important.
Yeah.
In all
So
this. I know you guys have gotten over 1,000 people into the 700.
yeah.
How are you helping people build credit when they're leveraging all this debt?
So two things. One, we do help. Like he helps with. He's like an expert when it comes to credit, but also we do have a lot of resources where you don't need any credit at all. Like, for example, I literally, before we came here, I closed on a property. I didn't need my credit at all.
That one in the greenhouse you didn't tell me about.
No, that's another house. I bought another house this morning, but we didn't use any credit at all. So what we utilize sometimes is hard money lenders. A lot of lenders, they don't ask for credit depending on the type of deal you do. So like if it's a flip, when you buy a house to keep, you have to refinance to pay them back. But if it's a flip, you don't need credit to go ahead and flip a property. So if you're telling me you want to buy a house and I'm going to be a lender and I say, what's your exit strategy? And you say that you want to flip it. I say, okay, you're not planning on refinance it. Not all lenders, I'll make that clear, but a lot of lenders, especially the ones I work with, they'll just lend the money based off of the deal. It's called asset-based lending, not off of you personally.
Okay.
And your exit strategy is flipping it, so you don't need any credit. But we do help people fix their credit.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad you talked about hard money loans because so the property I bought in Detroit, initially I was going to get a hard money loan for that, and I ended up not doing it. But what made me decide not to do it was I think also you guys have more experience with using hard money lenders, so you built up that background. I've never done that before, right? And they wanted me to put up my house as collateral, and I didn't want to do that because I also know anything can go wrong if you miss a payment or whatever, and I don't have experience in doing that, and this was the biggest project I've done. I've only ever had like a 2-family house before that, and so that's why I didn't have that type of background, and so I just wasn't comfortable with doing it because I was like, there's no way I'm putting up my house as collateral with this hard money loan.
I wouldn't do that. Two things you could do is, one, if you have someone you know that has experience, you can add them to the operating agreement and their experience.
They wanted me to do that too. But then I was like, what if afterward they don't get off? You know what I mean? Like now they're added to the agreement, but then afterward you're supposed to remove them.
Depending on the lender, sometimes we can do like a 90-10 or 80-20 where they're a part of it, but they're not majority owner.
Okay.
So you can do things like that, or you can set up other contracts out between y'all to set that up. Other things that we do, one thing I specifically do is I'll buy vacant land. So I'll buy vacant land. Let's say, for example, one lot I got for $12,000, but it's worth $90,000. So with that being said, I put a lot up as collateral because I don't really care about that.
Right.
And versus your house. So if you have other assets that's not really worth that's worth something, but it's not like your primary home, I put stuff up like that as collateral if need be. But I don't really do it for them to trust me. It's more so to cover the down payment.
Right.
So I'll put the lot up to cover the down payment part.
I'm just asking these questions because I know people will also have questions.
Yeah. I would not do that. Don't put your primary house
and
up.
you know what's interesting, because I did have another property in Detroit that I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this one. And they were like, no, we don't want that one. We want this one. And I was like,
switch lenders.
So I didn't end up doing, but I actually ended up getting a loan from a bank, a smaller bank that does loans that is just for renovations, properties like that, and I got a bridge loan.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that because my credit was strong enough for me to be able to get that done. But then it was a weird time with the bank collapses, and so that actually put a hold for a period of time. But fortunately, everything worked out.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Wow. So real estate, and also I know you're in storage facilities.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, I wanted to hear about this.
Yeah. So I've been in real estate going on 10 years now. I started out in
What, you were 10 years old?
Hey,
These guys are
very young.
These guys are very young, and that was their target. That was interesting. That was your target market, was young people.
Yes.
Gen Z, millennials, you've done a great job with them, but your clients are a little older.
We help people
older,
from all different age groups,
which is great.
It really don't matter. We help from all different age groups. As long as you want to make an additional stream of income, you want to get into the business, we help out. But as far as storage, I've been in real estate going on 10 years now. I started out in the residential space. I told you about the first property that I flipped, and I made all of this money. And then what happens when you make all this money, you think that every day was going to be the same way. So I started to buy more properties. By 28, I had almost 40 properties, right? But then the pandemic happened. So I have 40 properties. Pandemic happens. Tenants are not paying their rent, right? I can't evict them because of monetary reasons, because they put the eviction ban on, but I'm stuck with the mortgage, right? So I'm debt heavy, paying mortgage, taxes, still paying insurance, water.
Terrible time to be a landlord.
Terrible time to be a landlord.
Right?
That was the only time I was like, "Ooh, glad I don't own it."
I was bleeding during that time, right? Because I'm like, dang, I'm not cash flowing like I want to. I just quit my job too, so I was working at Pepsi for 6 years, and at this point, I'm like, I got cash flow, I got 40 properties, I'm good, right? Then the pandemic happens, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? But I started to say, okay, I need to start selling off some of these assets, because also during this time, properties was going for sky high prices, right? People was paying $20,000, $30,000 over asking. So I started selling off some of these properties to liquidate my portfolio. And one property in particular, I had a buyer who was willing to give me $20,000 more than what I listed it for, but he wanted me to deliver the property vacant, and I had a tenant in it that wasn't paying. So I was like, I gotta get this tenant out. I offered him cash for keys. So I said, here, go $2,000. I don't care what you owe me. I just need you gone. He agreed to it, but he wanted me to put his items in a storage unit for 90 days. I said, all right, let's do it. And I started to look for storage units to get his stuff in there, and everything was sold out. Like every storage unit was sold out. Everybody had a waiting list, full occupancy, and I started scratching my head. I need to be on this side of the business, right? I need to know what's going on here. That's when I started YouTubing, Googling. I paid $50,000. I went to this mastermind. I learned all about self-storage. And the money that I sold that property with, I used it as my down payment on my next facility. My first facility that I bought a couple years ago, which was an 88-unit facility. And I never looked back from it. Now I have over 500 units right now in like 3 years. But the reason why I love it is because now I make money in real estate with no tenants, no trash, no toilets.
So wait, okay, so you paid somebody $50,000 to learn how to...
Yes.
Okay.
You paid
I always think
I paid $50,000 in mentorship to learn about self-storage.
Back up. So you guys invested a lot in mentorship. You came together through mentorship programs.
Yes.
How do you help? What advice would you have for someone picking out a good mentor, particularly in this climate?
Great question.
That's a great question. During this climate, I would say look at that person's resume, right? So you could go back, look down my page, see where I first started when I bought that first property, right? Even my losses, like you could look down and see all the things that we've done. Look at the testimonials. Can you actually see a mentor out that's taking you through the properties? We take our students out to our actually properties. He does residential property tours. I do self-storage tours. So we're not just telling you this online. You could actually come out. You can see this, right? And then we actually, once you actually get with us, we show you, right? We go online. So with certain platforms like PropStream, you could actually look the owners up. Yeah. So you can see who really own properties, who really don't own properties. But the biggest thing is I like to say, look at other people and look at their success. Do you have other people? Because it's one thing for us to make money in a business, but do you have other people around you that make money? Can they speak for you? Can they actually talk about you in a good way? And we have amazing testimonials, students that we done help buy these assets and change their life.
Things I do, when I was looking for my mentors, I used to like see, because most of them, they say they helped this person or they helped this person. This person did this. They had got 2 properties from my program. They learned from me. What I would do is I find that person, I hit them up who they taught, and I have a private conversation with them, and I start asking questions with them, like, how did the program go? You know, was it a good program? Did you learn what you said you're supposed to learn? Was it successful? How'd you like it? And I had that conversation with the person that they taught, and I get my own perception from them instead of just directly asking them, of course. Someone who they already have taught and got a testimonial from, and then had that conversation with them. And I did it with multiple people. I'm like, are you using that program? Okay, how did it go for you? You were in that program, how did it go for you? And then I watch heavy. I watch heavy on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. They classes that they hosting might be some small like if they got $100 class, they got a free class. If they got that, I'll do the smaller one first before I go to the big one. Yeah. But I just and then I ask questions from other people who they're involved with.
That's a good thing you said. Get something smaller and then build your way up. And I think also I really, really believe people need to have like, I don't say common sense, but their own kind of like thought process on it. So if you have someone, if I reach out to him and I say, hey, I want to invest with you, oh, I'm going to talk to you 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Like, how is that really possible? So just sometimes be honest with yourself. Like, this seems...
Am I really going to do that?
Yeah, how is that really going to... You got a lot going on. How is that really going to happen? And if you are able to do all that, like, what are you doing in your business? So some little things, like, when I hear people, get into jams, it's like a lot of times it's like, well, that was a little too good to be true to begin with.
Right.
So
a lot of
things
people
are very
going into
unrealistic.
debt
Yeah.
to work with these people.
yeah, it's like, that didn't sound right to begin with. So, just realistic expectations. Does this sound about right? And it's like, okay, that checks out. That's something that's physically possible for them to do. Not, hey, I'm going to give you them, like you said, give you the money. I'm going to build the house. I'm going to fix it up. I'm going to sell it for you. I'm going to give you the money. I'm going to do all this when it gets like,
Yeah, anytime you invest in a mentorship and you don't really have to do any work, it's about you. Like somebody else doing the work for you, that's a red flag.
Right.
Like it's about you should be learning how to fish for yourself so that you can eat forever. If you pay for mentorship and that mentor is taking you and doing everything and you just sitting around just investing your money, that's a red flag.
me personally.
Yeah, I do like to find my own properties that I want to invest in.
That's good.
And so when it comes to also places, right, how do you guys feel about investing someplace that you don't live, or maybe even someplace you've never seen? Because I know sometimes people will invest in things sight unseen. So what are your thoughts about that?
My personal opinion, if you have not, this is your first ever real estate deal, I don't advise doing that. Maybe on your second one, unless you just want to be an investor that has no clue what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So like invest in your own backyard, understand the numbers, understand construction, understand even if it's not a full blown, I'm tearing the house down, rebuilding. Like, okay, I understand this how much paint costs. I understand this how much cabinets cost. Okay, carpet versus vinyl flooring. Like just learning little things. Okay, so now when you invest out of state, if someone FaceTimes you, you are somewhat familiar with what's going on.
Right.
Unless you are investing in properties that are already cash flowing, already set up, where nothing needs to get fixed, but those numbers sometimes are a little bit smaller. So like, hey, I'll buy a house in Detroit. It's already tenant there, it's already cash flowing, it's already set up, it's already fixed up, and property manager's already in place. They sent me the sheets, they sent me the numbers. Then that's a little different. But if you're buying something to fix up another city, I don't really advise that right out the gate.
Me personally, this is just my opinion. I say start where you live. Start in your background, where you can drive an hour, 2 hours to. Even if the property is fully renovated and tenant in it, as I've had mentees that bought properties in different states, and then property management said, oh, we didn't get the rent paid this month. But property management is pocketing the money the whole time, right? Or they're saying, oh, this broke, this pipe broke, and sending you a bill for it. That pipe didn't really break. You wasn't there. So start out actually in your backyard, learn it. Once you get more experience and comfortable, now we can start going and investing sight unseen.
Because Brooklyn's expensive.
Yeah.
I will say that. I did things here, but I was like, all right, let's go to Detroit now. But I really did go and was very familiar with it and went to go see everything that I was doing and make sure I stayed in contact with it's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
Because I have a full-time job, too.
I gotta go to Chicago, man. Nobody go to Chicago and invest?
I'll check it out. You take me out there, I'll check it out.
Yeah, listen, we love Chicago. We on. Shout out to GCI.
But even if you, because like New York is crazy. I made money in real estate my very first deal, but then I got out of there. That's when I went to Pennsylvania,
right?
Upstate New York. It don't have to
it's
just
not
be
the only game in town.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could, as long as it's within a 2 or 3 hour drive where you can get there, I think that's a good base to start. Then we can go.
West Coast.
Yeah.
So if people work with you, you take them on virtual tours.
Yeah, so way our program works is 2 parts. One we actually do is a full online class. So we do 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. It's a 5-day class.
That's a 5-day challenge.
Can they take it any time during the day, or does it have to be at a specific?
No, it's a set time, but we give them a recording. So if they missed, Tuesday night, I had to work a double. Then they can watch the recording, so they're not missing anything. But also we put people in a Facebook group and a Telegram group, so they can ask a question midday or hop on a Facebook, connect with someone else like that. And then when we do have our property tours, that's like a set time throughout the year. So you got time to fly out and different things like that. But the main thing where people see a lot of value is during our 5-day classes, where like Monday through, it's like a whole college semester packed in 1 week. There's a lot of value, a lot of game, and that's what really we see a lot of success in that.
And how much does it cost people to work with you guys in that?
So to get access to that full week is only $497. Yeah.
And I know if people out there who want to do that, it's Fund Your Freedom weekdays.com/money.
Let's fund your freedom.
Let's fundyourfreedom.com. Yeah.
Let's fundyourfreedom.com/money. And I know if people use a way up code, I believe there's a discount for our audience.
Yeah.
Oh, you gave our peoples a discount?
Yeah, I told them
Okay.
that. So they just when you go to the page and you hit the promo, type in way up, it's gonna come right up.
$100 off anybody that type in.
I love that. Now that's a good investment.
Yeah, let's fundyourfreedom.com/money. Coupon code way up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And the challenge is September
18th to the 22nd.
Yep.
September 18th through 22nd.
Yeah, so it's a virtual conference because
Honestly.
You keep things virtual too.
it's because we want to make sure that no matter where you are in the world, you can get this information, right? You could be in the comfort of your home. We've had people who go on vacation and all right, I'm gonna block out these 2 hours and go back to the hotel room, right? We just want to make sure we make it very, very convenient for you to get the information, and then at that point we do in-person events as well. But the 5-day virtual conference, anybody could do it.
And here's a cheat code. If you got your bae with you or something, y'all could watch it together.
That's what you should do.
That's smart. That's smart. That's smart. If you gotta
I'm
do
just
that,
saying.
that's smart.
It's really like a no-brainer. It's honestly that's how you can build with your person. But like to really break it down, how we set it up. Monday we talk about personal credit and getting your credit in order. Tuesday we talk about funding, getting you that $20,000 to $50,000, or even some people got more than that. But a lot of people got the 20s to 50s and funding. And then we go into Wednesday how to actually find deals, how to actually put deals together, structure that. Then we get into Thursday how we actually buy storage units and commercial real estate. And then Friday we have a bonus, like a special guest. So talk about whatever it is we lined up for that week. Like this time we're talking about grants. Yeah, so how you can get. Yeah, so it was a full-blown week, and then
I have never gotten a grant. I really need to do better because I feel like
you gotta educate yourself.
Yeah, I do. I don't. Yeah,
There's a lot of money
you got
out
your
there.
free spot during the week.
Yeah,
so
you come on
grant.
challenge and learn.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have somebody talking about 501c3s and how to be able to leverage them to be able to use them to your advantage.
Yep.
And one of our people even got like a cool way that they got some stuff set up where they got pre-written templates for you already that have awarded them a lot of money already.
I need that
you can benefit from to just plug your own information in and send them in and try to get awarded with it, make it easier for you and stuff like that.
because I see people getting all this grant money,
Oh,
and I'm
this
like,
grant money, and
It's
it's
I don't
a
even know
grant
where
to
to
fill
start
them
when
out.
it comes to that.
Banks have to give you money within their community, a certain amount, and they have to give out money. But a lot of people don't know that. But they have to literally
It
give out
changed
money.
a lot because now there's a lot of grants out there, especially for Black women. And I remember I have a
100%.
nonprofit
Yeah.
that's over 10 years old, and it started with a lot of grants and stuff, and it was like forever, and you had to hire grant writers and all this stuff. And now it's like 2-minute application.
Yeah, I never had a grant in my life. I need to get more on board with that. I have definitely been funding my freedom.
Let's fundyourfreedom.com/money, Angela Yee.
All right.
Facts.
Well, listen, you guys, let's fundyourfreedom.com/money. Way up is the code for $100 off because we love y'all.
Yes.
We love you.
yeah,
This
for
was
sure.
great.
Yeah.
This
No,
was
I
really
enjoyed
awesome.
this.
Thank you
You
for having
said
us.
you got good credit though, right?
I do.
Do you leverage funding your business with your good credit to be able to start your businesses and investments?
I've been using my own money.
Oh,
Why?
See, that's what we can't do anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I don't
that's
like
one thing
that.
I got to learn, how to. I've done some great investments, but it's all with my money, and I know we got to really get down with OPM.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say we got to talk to
Business
scale.
credit,
You
yeah,
can scale
business
better.
credit. I know you help people with business credit and how important that is.
Because I'm trying to reopen my juice bar right now, and I definitely need to get that together.
You
So.
guys have to help us. And I have,
No, for sure.
as a small business owner, a Black female small business owner who's
Say that.
among the
Okay.
40 among Black female business owners, we lose 40% a year in unpaid invoices. And I've about had it with that.
Yeah.
And with people just deciding they don't have to honor invoices or contracts. But I found out that if you register your business with Dun & Bradstreet, you report just like a credit bureau. You report when people make payments to the credit bureau, and you report when they don't. And starting to put that on your invoice, like whether you pay me or not, it's going to affect your business credit.
I don't owe you nothing, right?
She about to
I-
start
no.
putting you up.
No, not you.
Well, thank you guys so much. I do
thank
really
you.
appreciate it for answering all these questions because I know there's a lot of people who are wanting to dip into this space, but it can be a lot of things out there. But I feel like the way you guys are doing it does seem like the best way to go about it. Give you the tools to make it happen. And this week-long crash course seems like the move. I can learn a lot.
You got to put in the work. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're sick of using our own money. We will be there.
Yeah, you can scale a whole lot faster and just free up some extra cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
No,
It's
thank
Way Up
you.
with Angela Yee. Wealth Wednesday.
Thank you.
Way up.